And this is it. This is what it's all about. Steve Corino, the 1PW World Heavyweight Champion, putting the title on the line against Britain's own anarchist Doug Williams. Stevie Aaron along with Dean Ayas at ringside. And I tell you what, Dean, calling the names right there, I've never known an atmosphere like what I've just felt in that very ring. It was unreal being in there with just these two guys. They're so psyched up, they're so ready to go, and the 1PW World Heavyweight Championship on the line here tonight at Fight Club 2.
Oh yeah, this is for the biggest prize of them all in 1PW. And 2 out of 3 falls. Whose favour will that play into as the match goes on?
Well, it remains to be seen. Let's go. Both men locking up. And it seems to be pretty even in the early goings. Of course, Steve Corino, the new 1PW World Heavyweight Champion. This is his first title defence since winning the title in that barbaric triple threat match, of course, at Know Your Enemy.
Oh, what a match that was. The suffering that Corino went through to get that match, to win that match and get that belt.
Well, you seen what Abyss tried to do to him. He tried to kill Steve Corino, tried to hang him from the top of a balcony, and Steve Corino fell, and I just wonder how this is going to affect Steve Corino here tonight, or how has it affected him since that amazing match.
And well, there's nothing like a nice easy first title defence, and let's face it, Doug Williams is nothing like an easy first title defence. This man has wrestled all over the world, Ring of Honor, former Pure Champion there, former British Heavyweight Champion. He's a regular now in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. And
former catch champion, I understand, in Europe.
Yep.
Former champion all over the world. Doug Williams knows the world over. He's held titles, but he's never held a title that's been recognised as a World Heavyweight Championship. And this might be his night. This might be his opportunity to take a World Heavyweight Championship for the first time.
Indeed, Stevie, this could be his chance. And well, to my knowledge, they've wrestled each other once in the FWA in 2003. Doug Williams was defending his FWA British Heavyweight title.
Oh, look at this nice move from the anarchist, the technician.
It was 2 out of 3 falls then, and Doug Williams won 2-1. So will history repeat itself? But
well, we're going to see.
Both guys taking it an easy pace at the moment. We've got an hour to play with if needs be.
2 out of 3 falls as well.
2 out of 3 falls, and let's face it, Stevie, it is still, it's late in the night, but it is still absolutely baking here at ringside in Barnsley. It's been 30, 32 degrees, something like that outside all day today. We're under these lights.
It's
I'm
a hot
sweating.
day. I'm sweating, and I'm not used to this kind of weather, and I'm not used to this kind of environment, quite frankly. These lights are really hot here this evening at 1PW Fight Club 2, and you see the wrist lock from Steve Corino.
And pacing is going to be paramount importance in this match, I feel.
Steve Corino winning that match that not only featured Abyss, of course, the former 1PW World Heavyweight Champion, but it also featured the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Christian Cage.
Yep, he was the NWA World Champion at the time, and a great name to have on your record as a guy that you've beaten. But
well, Steve Corino's done so much in this business already. If we're going to go with experience, I've got to go with Corino. If we're going to go with technical wrestling, I have to go with Doug personally. So Steve Corino, he can wrestle. Let's not forget that.
Oh yeah, Corino can wrestle, but he can also brawl. Doug Williams, however, you've got to say brawling isn't a strong point.
Definitely not.
Will Corino try and take this to the outside? Will he try to make this more of a brawl in his environment? Or will it be more of a wrestling match?
And you see the fans here this evening. Steve Corino seems to be the favourite, which is quite unusual in a normal environment, but this is anything but.
Yeah, I think Corino just won the respect of the fans because of what he put his body through in defeating Abyss and Christian Cage at Know Your Enemy.
It's a great point.
And that, such an emotional speech he made at the end of the show with son Colby, who's not here this weekend, but he was there with him in the ring. and this belt and this company really means a lot to Steve Corino.
And look at this, look at Doug Williams, nice escape there.
Beautiful, not just an escape, but into an offensive move of his own, classic British chain wrestling there. Shades of your Johnny Saints, your Steve Regals, guys like that, where you turn off defense into offense in one move. Just to really, really messes with your opponent's mind.
And you see him going to work on the ankle of Steve Corino. Corino's fighting it with multiple kicks there, and he gets a release. And now the 1PW World Heavyweight Champion telling Doug Williams to bring it on, so to speak. It's hard to say. I think Doug's going for the weakness, or so it seems. Meanwhile, Corino looks to be trying to grab that left wrist of Doug Williams. And yes, into the wrist lock now. And he twists it round again, of course. Steve Corino, no stranger to World Heavyweight Championships. This man, unbelievably, is a former AWA, NWA Heavyweight Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, and also ECW World Heavyweight Champion. Now you've got, there you see Doug Williams. He's got the knee to the shoulder area, still working on the arm of Steve Corino. Steve Corino, yes, he's known for the brawls, he's known for the bloodbaths, but here tonight he's going to prove once and for all that he can wrestle. Definitely a nice side headlock now from Doug Williams. Also a chance for Corino to prove to the critics that he is also a great wrestler. And now nice side headlock by Doug Williams, who is on a roll. I seen him walking around earlier today. He had that Pro Wrestling No shirt on. And recently on the Spring Navigation Tour, Doug did not succumb to a pinfall or a submission. He lost tag matches, yes, but it wasn't because of Doug Williams. He wasn't beaten. Nobody beat him. He never took the fall, is what I'm saying. Oh, and anybody that does that, they deserve a title shot.
Let's get him!
And it looks like he's going to get a pinfall here. And goes back to the hammerlock. Yeah, and more importantly than that, he beat him in a wrestling match. You know, it was a great technical wrestling match. Oh, I was there too, Dean. It was incredible. At least we hope. Well, and now both men locking up once again, and it's Corino who looks to be backing off to go into the corner, but he turns it, and I think we're going to see a clean break. No, the king of old school drives in an elbow there, sorry, a shoulder rather, and a nice forearm, followed by another forearm, but I think that's just woke Doug Williams up.
Now we're getting more into the brawling territory a little bit. Corino's face the picture there.
Well, I don't think he was expecting this from the anarchist Doug Williams. And a nice European uppercut, and now look at him, he's saying, come on, is that all you got? You want to turn it into a fight? I'll fight you. And maybe Doug can. Maybe it's a chance for Doug to prove himself too.
And tempers are beginning to fray a little. We've been having a sporting contest up till now.
And Corino goes down and he's holding that jaw. This is a great match, like you said. I mean, I don't know if they've wrestled each other apart from that one occasion in the FWA some years ago. This would be a big dream match actually in Japan. Of course, Doug Williams wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah. Steve Corino, one of the popular American wrestlers in 001 Max. That's right.
So yeah, bragging rights for one or other of the Japanese federations there.
Could well be. We'll see what it comes down to. And now Doug, look at this. And he reverses that. And look at this, beautiful. He's got the camel clutch. That's right.
Camel clutch now.
We've got shades of the old Iron Sheik in this one.
He's making him humble, Stevie.
And now it might be, it wouldn't be a bad idea to drop the first fall here for Corino, in my opinion, to a submission.
Well, it's quite early on in the match, but it's an interesting phase because you have to wonder, in the case of a submission hold in a 2 out of 3 for the match, do you grit it, do you gut it out and grit your teeth and risk injuring yourself to the point that you have to, you can't continue, or do you give up the first fall? And
that's the thing. That's my point entirely.
Damage. I mean, I've seen plenty of 2 out of 3 full matches. The old school British matches,
that's right,
where someone gets themselves in a submission move, they hurt themselves, and then the second fall the blade just slaps the same move on again. It's 2-0.
Look at this move from Steve Corino. This is interesting. He's got the legs locked.
It's like a kind of a figure 4 come sharpshooter.
But Doug fights it, and I think he's gone for the STF.
Yep, straight into an STF.
Doug Williams going for the STF. He can't quite get it. He's got the legs, turns Corino over, and I've seen Doug Williams do this one before. If he grabs that head, there you go, hits the forearm.
Putting pressure on those thigh muscles, the quadricep, the largest muscle in the human body, and if you tighten that thigh up, it really limits your mobility.
And now, yes, he's got the head. I've seen Doug do this one before, and now he's got the arms locked.
That was almost like, you're going to grab my hair, fine, I'm going to do this to you.
And to my knowledge, Dean Ass, Doug Williams has wrestled far more 2 out of 3 falls match than the champion.
Oh, you'd think so. I mean, Doug Williams is a regular for a promotion down on the South Coast called Premier Promotions, and they do, all of their matches over 2 out of 3 falls. So, absolutely, Doug Williams has wrestled literally hundreds of 2 out of 3 fall matches, both in Premier and in the FWA and in other promotions as well.
Corino's telling Doug to try and knock him down, try and charge him. Doug's clearly the stronger of the two, and that proves it right there. Corino hits the mat, and he hits it hard.
I mean, in terms of weight, there's nothing between them. I mean, a couple of pounds here and there, literally. And Corino's slightly taller, I believe, but
Doug's more buff. I mean, you see the muscles on Doug Williams, and I'm taking nothing away from Steve Corino. He's a strong guy.
That's not the be-all or end-all. Ask Samoa Joe. I mean, look at the success he's had. He wouldn't call Samoa Joe a bodybuilder, but he calls Samoa Joe a winner.
That's true, and here tonight, great match, great main event here at Fight Club 2, and we thank everybody for joining us, no matter where you might be. We thank you here at this huge international main event. And that time, Doug Williams goes down. And a nice arm drag. And now he's got that arm locked. He's got the arm lock, and it's in the centre of the ring. And again, great strategy from Doug Williams. He's been working on that arm earlier in the match, the left arm of Steve Corino. And perhaps Doug is looking for a submission in this match. We haven't talked about the finishing manoeuvres. Corino likes to use the lariat. Doug likes to use that bomb scare knee drop or the chaos theory.
And yeah, I mean, if you're going to stop the lariat, work on that left arm.
It's a great move by Doug Williams over the top, and again, nice arm drag into the centre of the ring right now with the arm bar. He's taking his time.
Well, that's the thing you said. You want to use the arm to counter the lariat, and you want to work on the knees to counter the chaos theory and the bomb scare knee drop. So good move from Williams. I mean, I don't think he'll get a submission out of this. I don't even know if he's looking for a submission from it. But what he is looking for is just to weaken and wear down Corino and defend himself against that finishing move, because that lariat, it just takes a second to hit you and you're down for the count.
Irish whip into the corner. Corino got the elbow up to the throat that time, but Doug just shrugged it off. Kick to the gut, and nice. Did you see that nice neck breaker there?
Swinging neck breaker, but look at Corino. Look at that arm. He's troubled by his left arm already. We're about 15-20 minutes into this match, and there's potentially a long way to go in this. And Corino now puts on a reverse chin lock just to give himself a breather, just to try and get some life into that arm.
And look at this, turns it into a dragon sleeper.
Nicely done. Now this could get a submission.
This definitely could get a submission. You see Doug Williams stretching the arm out for the referee to see.
Oh yeah, and he's also, we can't see it from here, but he's communicating with the referee, saying he's okay, or when he's not okay, of course, but you've got a brave face. You don't want to say to your opponent, you're actually hurting me hell.
But the referee was looking for the arm to fall, no doubt, but look at that, kicks to the back from Steve Corino. This is a huge match we've got here, and potentially we are witnessing the night Doug Williams becomes a world heavyweight champion. Yes, he's been a heavyweight champion before. He's been a British heavyweight champion before. He's been a great champion all over the world.
He's been a European heavyweight champion over in Germany, as you say, in catch, but never has he called himself a world heavyweight champion.
It's the one thing that Doug Williams has never had the privilege to call himself.
He's been a world tag team champion with Scorpio, and he challenged for those GHC belts at Know Your Enemy, of course, with Nigel McGuinness against Yone Morishima. But you've got to think, it's the one thing that has eluded him. Doug Williams and Corino, they've both been wrestling approximately at the same time. 12 years Corino, 13 years for Doug Williams.
Look at this combination of moves here,
and you wonder, does Doug Williams compare himself to a guy like Steve Corino and look at those world titles? And how does the guy's mind work? That's the interesting.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure Doug appreciates the fact that he's called, Britain's #1 export. The fact that people, say to him a lot. You'll read it on the internet. You'll read it in the magazines. Doug Williams is one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, but he doesn't have anything to show for it, Dean. I mean, does that bother wrestlers?
I think, at the end of the day, everyone wants to be the champion, because when you're retired, when your career's over and you're looking back in the record books, it doesn't say who's the guy who had those great matches, who's the guy who was the #1 export. The thing that you see on the records is who was the champion. You can have great matches in your championship reign. You can look at guys like Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, guys whose title reigns were punctuated by great wrestling matches, but they were still the champion.
Doug Williams fighting this suplex. It's a great point from Dean Ayers at ringside, and a nice European uppercut there from Doug Williams. Yes, I could spend all day listing great wrestlers, but how many of them were champions? Steve Corino is a great champion, and now in the corner, the referee not checking on that fist into the snapmare, and a kick to the back of the Anarchist.
That will really knock the wind out of you, believe me. It's a sharp, short pain to go through.
He's a cover. This might be the first fall. No, just a 2 count. And you see the pain on the Anarchist's face there.
And look at the sweat pouring off both of these guys. I mean, we've said it already. It is really, really hot. It is unseasonably hot. It's probably the hottest day of the year so far, I think. And,
I don't know if it's affecting their performances though, Dean. I mean, yes, we are seeing the sweat, but so far, nobody's made a mistake in this match.
So far, so good, but it's got to sap your stamina. It's really got to wear you down. And, we're seeing these guys, they're going to chin locks and headlocks and just trying to catch themselves a breather, trying to think of the next move, because these guys are so evenly matched. They know each other well, they've studied each other.
Thinking 2 moves ahead, and look at that high cross body by Doug Williams. That might be the first fall. No, that was very close.
But that's the thing, when you're a champion, you've got to think, 2 or 3 moves ahead to just stay on top of your game.
Corino got the boot up, and he followed it with a big reverse knife edge chop, and down went the Anarchist.
And look at the face of Williams, pain etched across and that's not going to help either. Just stretching out the shoulders and the neck and the abdominal muscles and the back, all being affected by that move.
And it looked like Doug looked up briefly, perhaps seeing his whereabouts in the ring, perhaps looking for the ropes, I'm not so sure. And now Corino grabbing the leg.
Almost like a stump puller there.
And I'm not sure. Oh, wait a minute, look at this pinning combination, but Doug's in the ropes.
Great move from Corino though, because you're thinking about the submission, you're thinking about blocking out that pain, and then just like that, in the blink of an eye and a heartbeat, you're turned over in a submission, and you've only got 3 seconds to get yourself out of there. That's no time at all. Great moves from Corino, really showing why he has won so many belts. This guy, as we said, people think of him a lot as a brawler from his ECW days, but this man can wrestle with the best of them, and he's proving that here tonight.
Well, yeah, you've got to believe it. A lot has changed since those days, and there's a beautiful knee lift from Doug Williams, and multiple knee lifts that time, and a big one sends down Steve Corino.
Patented offense from the anarchist Doug Williams. He likes to use those knees, as we said.
And Corino looked groggy there, and off the ropes, tastes another elbow to the throat, and Corino doesn't know where he is.
But did you notice Doug Williams grabbed Corino to go in for the whip, but he was so sweaty he slipped right off.
Not so sure Corino knows where he is right now, off the ropes.
I don't either, because Williams is laying it in with the knees.
I think he's going for it, Dean. He's going up top. It looks like he's going to go for the bomb scare knee drop.
This could be the first fall.
He hits it.
Yes. To the side of the head.
1, 2, 3. No, he kicked out. Incredible.
Really
and that might
close.
that might have been a mistake by Steve Corino.
Really close. Well,
he's going for the chaos theory. He rolls back. He's going to hit that German suplex. But Corino's tried to reverse it. But Doug Williams fell back on top, and there's a pin.
Stevie Aaron, beautiful move, because Corino. Corino tried to counter the chaos theory. He knew it was coming. He dropped down to try and roll Doug Williams up, but Doug Williams countered the counter. Great wrestling, great move from Williams, and look at Corino's face. He's got a mountain to climb. He has now got to get 2 straight falls off of Doug Williams, a man who you just said has just come back from a tour of Japan undefeated, a man whose last appearance in a 1PW ring was a clean pinfall over Lance Storm. Steve Corino has got an absolute mountain to climb.
Definitely.
If he wants to leave the Metrodome still the 1PW champion.
Well, nobody's the champion now for all intents and purposes, because Steve Corino's down a fall. He's got to fight back. He's got to get 2 falls to win this match, if that's what he wants to do, and I believe he does.
I mean, who the hell has beaten Doug Williams 2 straight falls? Who?
I can't think off the top of my head.
Exactly.
And yes, he was a former FWA British heavyweight champion, and a lot of those matches, of course, that was the rule where, you know, the main event, it was 2 out of 3 falls in those title defences. But you're right, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, and I'm really scrambling here. Who's beat Doug Williams anyway? I mean, you know, that's an accomplishment in itself.
Absolutely, Steve.
And now the fans enjoying the action. We've got Doug Williams fans out here. There seems to be more Steve Corino fans, or at least they're louder, they're more verbal. But they're enjoying a great match nevertheless. Main event of Fight Club 2. And again, you see Doug, he says 1 more. That's all it's going to take.
1 more and it's mine. And I think that just shows you how much Doug Williams wants this. He wants to call himself the world champion.
And here we go, seconds out, round 2. Well, he's a cover, and that was a smart move by Doug. And almost took the second fall. Over the top, this might do it. No. Steve Corino back on his feet, and that's where he's got to be. Irish whip into the ropes, but Doug catches him off guard. He's going to go for another cover. 2, and just a 2 count there.
Well, Doug Williams' strategy is, well, it's pretty obvious now. He's just going to go for quick falls all the time, just try and catch.
He's going
Corino.
for the kill.
Yeah, catch Corino by surprise. You know, when you've got 2 guys.
Oh, wait a minute, he's got him again. Reversing the slam, and just a 2 count there.
When you've got 2 guys who are so closely matched like these two, quite often the only way to win unless there's an accident or an injury, is to just surprise them. Like we saw with that first fall, Corino thought he was countering the Chaos Theory. Doug Williams countered
just
the
dug
counter.
out for it again, and there's uncharacteristically a low blow from Doug Williams. Mr. Squeaky Clean himself, he just nailed him with a leg, and I think did the referee see he's asking him now?
I don't know, but Doug Williams looks kind of apologetic. I don't know if he slipped or what, but as you say, very uncharacteristic of Doug Williams to do something like that.
And Doug perhaps becoming frustrated now. How much does the 1PW World Heavyweight Championship mean to Doug Williams?
Well, he's getting scolded by Andy Quilden for that.
I mean, I was speaking to Doug just last week. I seen him at another show, and I said, what about this match with Steve Corino? What does the title mean to you? And he didn't give me a reply. I didn't get any answer. And Doug's a nice guy.
That's the thing with Doug. Sometimes you'll just get a wry smile out of him. I mean, I've known Doug Williams literally since day one. As I've said before, him and I started on the same show back in 1993, and I've followed this man's career all the way through, and as we've said, the one thing that's eluded him all the time is the World Heavyweight Championship, and I wouldn't say he's taking shortcuts here, but he's certainly uncharacteristic in his offense.
Well, look at this, he's going back to work on that arm. Of course, Steve Corino, as we said, likes to use the lariat, and this is doing Steve Corino no favours at all.
Grinding on that forearm, trying to just break that muscle tissue down.
And he's a great point, Dean. We've got a 20 count now in 1PW.
Indeed we do. So does that work for Corino? Does that give him more of a break, or does that mean Doug Williams can do more damage on the outside?
It's a great point, and that time it was Williams dropping the arm across that top rope as Corino stands on the apron. And I think he's going to do it again, yes. When you see the pain, you hear the pain coming from the mouth of Steve Corino verbally. And Corino, I'm not sure if he's trying to get back in the ring or trying to buy himself a little bit more time here. The referee's telling him to get back in.
What happens if Corino is counted out, having been one fall down? Does the title change hands or what?
I don't know. We'd have to have perhaps an official up here and perhaps a decision made. The referee obviously been instructed the new rules here, so he'll know better than us, Dean. But right now, Steve Corino back in the ring. Look at the smile.
Williams is very confident.
Reverse knife edge from Corino.
And you've got to say, it's understandable. Corino comes in with one chop and Williams just one forearm, and immediately he's got Corino back where he wants him. And now Doug Williams putting virtually all his body weight onto that shoulder joint.
Look at this, just trying to...
It's just painful just to watch it.
Definitely, the shoulders, it looks out of place there almost.
Yeah, he's trying to either dislocate it or hyperextend the arm, but either way, this looks incredibly painful. And of course, the situation Corino's in now, like we said, if this was the first fall, maybe he would have given up just to save that arm and be able to do the lariat later on if needs be. But Corino now has just got to hold on.
He doesn't have a choice here, is what you're saying, Dean Assen. Over the top goes Steve Corino. But look at this cross arm breaker.
Great move, and Corino just grabbing Doug Williams' hand, because if Doug Williams can link those hands and break Corino's grip, surely it's a...
He's got it. He's not. Well, look at Corino twisting the body, trying to get to the bottom rope. Is he gonna? He's there. That's a release.
And you just look at Corino there, the way he was screaming, the way he was wriggling like a fish out of water. That wasn't a calculated counter. That was desperation. That was sheer desperation from Steve Corino trying to retain his belt.
And a big headbutt from the Anarchist. Again, doing the shoulder no favours, doing the arm no favours whatsoever, as Doug just slaps it. Oh, look at this, almost half of a cattle mutilation.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, and again, you just look at the face, the anguished expression on the face of Steve Corino. He has to hold on. He's got no choice now. He has to hold on, and he's in trouble. The referee grabbing the arm.
He's checking that arm, and if it drops... Oh, wait a minute, he kept it up.
Stevie, just look at the determination on the face of Steve Corino.
And a knee. into the upper spinal area of Steve Corino, and he's in pain. Look at that arm behind the back.
Just managed to unlock it almost now,
but Doug Williams drops the knee.
Doug Williams will not let up on that left arm of Steve Corino. He's getting more and more confident because, let's face it, he's got the champion pretty much where he wants him right now.
It's only a matter of time, or so it seems, before Steve Corino, he's just going to have to give it up. He might never be able to use that arm again. This might be, you know, a big career mistake.
Yeah, but you don't think of that in the heat of the moment when you're in the middle of this ring.
Oh, definitely.
Main event of Fight Club 2. You're not thinking about your next match. You're not thinking about the match you got in a month's time. You're thinking about the next however long we've got left in this match, half an hour or so, I guess. To try and retain your belt and keep your championship.
He wants to stay on top of the world, quite frankly, and the support he gets here in the UK, the support he gets all over the world. Steve Corino, he's feeling it right now, and he's escaping it. Look at this.
He can hardly stand, Stevie.
But Doug's toppling. Nice arm drag there.
And look at that. What's he got hold of?
Once again, the arm. Yes.
Exactly. Brilliant move from Williams. Now
he's using his whole upper shoulder area, I guess, to just press into the arm area of Steve Corino.
His entire body's a lever, and he's got the left arm of Corino
look at this, the whole
leg.
weight of Doug Williams now, putting pressure on Steve Corino.
I've just never seen a move like that before. I don't mind admitting I don't know what that's called, because it's the first time I've seen that, but that just shows you why the Americans over in Ring of Honor call this man the human torture device.
That's right, and he's got that name in Japan as well, I understand. They call him that in the Noah promotion. And Steve Corino,
that left arm's virtually it's limp. Look at that, he's trying to slap some feeling into it, get the blood circulating again. But Corino, I've not seen Corino in this much trouble.
No,
But then again, we said that when he was powerbombed through a barbed wire table and flung off a balcony by Abyss. You just don't know.
Practically hung.
I mean, the heart, the desire of this man is absolutely second to none.
And that'll never give up. The physical body of Steve Corino, and that proves it right there with a DDT. Both men down now. The champion with a lot of fight left in him, obviously, but he's got to try and get that blood flowing back in that arm. Doug Williams holding the back of the neck. Who knows what ill effects that DDT just had on the Anarchist. And now Steve Corino with a reverse knife edge chops.
That DDT really just a move plucked out of desperation from Corino. I think that's fired him up a little bit. It's even the odds up. He's hit Doug Williams with a knee, which is a trademark Williams move. And Corino senses maybe the tide's turning, I don't know.
Off the ropes right now, he held on. Did Corino, and Doug hit the floor hard.
It's a bad landing for Doug Williams. He landed, I think, on his actually, ironically enough, on his left shoulder, I believe. A really bad landing for Doug Williams. I think he was trying to land on his feet, but those ropes, as we've said, are covered in sweat. They're really slippery.
He might have caught his head on that exchange. I'm not so sure. And now Doug Williams goes into the guardrail. And now we're seeing a vicious streak in Steve Corino. And head first into that chair on the outside, that steel chair. And Corino just using the guardrail as a weapon on Doug Williams. I guess the time for technical wrestling is over.
I said it before, Corino is going to desperation because he's he's 140-0 down. He needs to get 2 falls to retain his belt. And Corino's going to do anything. He's going to do whatever it takes, any means necessary to retain that belt, trust me.
Well, both men beating the count. It was close, yes. And I'm not so sure what would happen there if we'd have had a double count out. But it doesn't matter because Doug Williams with a gut-wrench suplex. And a sliding drop kick.
Better landing for Corino than Doug Williams had, but again the match spills to the outside, and there's now a 20 count, as we've said, to do some damage.
Doug Williams is on the ring apron. What's he going for? It doesn't matter because Corino got the foot up that time. And now we're going to see a suplex on the outside.
Oh, Northern Lights bomb, I think.
I think you're right. Look at Doug holding the back of his neck. That was a Northern Lights bomb on the outside.
I told you Corino was desperate. We wondered what lengths he would go to retain that belt, and I think we've just been given our answer, because Corino's just hit one of his signature moves, the Northern Lights bomb, which, let's face it, puts people out when they're in the middle of the canvas. What's it do to people, to Doug Williams, when he's landed on a floor with mat with minimal padding?
On the back of his neck as well. I mean, it looked like he was just going to go for a vertical suplex. He twisted, and Doug came down on the back of the neck and the shoulders. And Doug now, who is also feeling the effects of that DDT earlier on, and he's on the outside with...
And well, it's a full...
And I think that was it. Yeah, see, we've got a count out here.
Well, I'm not surprised Doug Williams couldn't make it back, but you've got to ask yourself, is Doug Williams actually going to make it back into the ring to compete for the third fall? Looking at him now, it's doubtful.
We've got guys on the outside, yes. It is one fall each, but is the match over?
Well, he looks to be in big trouble, Stevie. He really does, you know.
We've got some guys checking on Doug Williams, and I really don't want to see this match end like this, and I don't think Corino does either. You see the look on Corino's face.
I mean, this has been, for the most part, a good sporting contest, and you know, I know both guys have a tremendous amount of respect for each other.
This is...
You know, I think Corino just pulled that move out of desperation.
This is not good. This is not good.
Well, what happens to our main event, Stevie? Is that it?
I think that might be it for Doug Williams. Doug can't stand, and I've never seen Doug Williams in a position like this before.
Well, you've got to think there'll be a rematch somewhere down the line, because it's, you know, an unfortunate ending. And
well, I'm not so sure Doug Williams will even get back in the ring after what we've just seen. He was DDT'd. He was holding the neck all the way from that point. Corino's got the belt.
Well, it looks like it's over. I mean, as you say, the referee Andy Gordon's given Corino the belt. He's retained it, but he doesn't look like he's retained it in the way he wanted to.
Doug's holding the back of his neck. He came down hard on that Northern Lights bomb on the outside, though, Dean. That's the story here.
I think he's coming back, Steve.
You got to be kidding me.
He's coming back for more.
Doug Williams wants to be world champion.
We said, how much does being 1PW World Heavyweight Champion mean? I think we've just found our answer, because against all logic, against all medical reason, Doug Williams says, no, put the belt back down on our table here. I want to fight. Let's ring the bell. Let's have a third fall. Incredible.
And look at Corino's face.
He can't believe it. He really can't believe it. Look at him.
I don't know if he's impressed or he's shocked or what, but he's got to wrestle the third fall now. It's anybody's game in the 1PW World Heavyweight Championship match, and you see Corino taking off that wrist tape. And he might be looking to finish the challenger in Doug Williams early, but Doug Williams telling him to bring it on. You say, yeah, you think you know me?
I think it's really rattled Corino, hasn't it?
It certainly has, and now we've got a brawl in the centre of the ring. Both men trading forearms. Doug looks to be winning it. Multiple forearms from Doug Williams. Off the ropes right now, and a super kick. He didn't go down, and Doug got the... Oh, wait a minute, lariat!
But Corino's left clutching that left arm that Williams worked over before. Wow.
He hit the lariat, but he's unable to get over there for the pinfall.
Because of the damage done to his arm, exactly. I mean, looking at Doug Williams, he really did look genuinely angered by that.
Doug's upset.
You know, that Corino would do something like a Northern Lights bomb on the outside. You know, there's honour among wrestlers, or most wrestlers. And, you know, doing something like that, doing a move that dangerous, isn't something that you tend to do, you know.
Doug Williams now has the wrist tape off, as again both men in the centre of the ring. You'd be forgiven for thinking that this match has just begun if you've just joined us, but there you see the European uppercuts in an SDO. Corino again, that arm bothering him. He's going to cover, he's going to count, and just a 2 count there.
And he didn't make a proper cover, and that cost him, because Doug Williams was able to kick out, and you've got to think, was it the left arm bothering him that stopped him from making that proper cover?
What's Corino doing? He's out of his element here. He's not a high flyer.
He's taking a risk, and I don't think it's paid off, because it looks like he's going to come down the painful and the hard way.
Doug Williams on the top. He's going to go for a silverplex, and he hits it.
And the impact is taken out of both men. Look at Williams. Corino flat out on his stomach. That arm is almost spasming there, that left arm of Corino. You can see it shaking.
Doug's looking to go up top. It looks like he might be going to go for the bomb scare again. Yes, he's on the top, and he hits it. He came right down on that arm.
Here we
now
go.
This might do it. 2, 3. Oh, just
really
incredible. Oh, look
tight.
at this. He grabbed the arm.
And again, we've gone from where before we went from, when Corino went from a submission straight into a pinfall. This time it's reversed. Just as Corino's trying to catch his breath from getting out of that pinfall, just as he's relaxing his body, Doug Williams clamps on that armbar, but it looks like he's given up on it already. Doesn't think he's going to get a submission. Maybe
I don't think Corino's ever quit anywhere, and I don't think he's fixing to tonight, as Doug Williams with a go behind might be, yes, looks like he's going to go for the chaos theory this time. Corino hangs on, and he hits another lariat, and down goes Doug Williams. This might do it. Successful title defense coming up right now. Just a 2 count.
But notice it was a right-handed lariat. He's not using that left arm, the favourite arm of Corino.
Look at this. It looks like he's going to attempt it again. He's going to attempt it again. And he's got the fans behind him. Steve Corino off the ropes, but Doug blocks it. Doug blocked it, and a knee to the back sends Corino to the outside.
Beautiful move by Williams. I mean, talk about scouting your opponent. He knew what was coming. Corino somewhat telegraphed it, and Doug Williams caught Corino and sent him crashing into those guardrails.
Steve Corino is down on the outside.
There's I was going to say there's not usually any bend in that iron rail. Although I think Iceman sometimes does his best to bend them in half. But
he certainly does, and you see Doug wondering what he has to do to defeat Steve Corino. Now, I believe if the last fall was a count-out, it doesn't matter. Doug Williams wouldn't become the 1PW World Heavyweight Champion. It's got to happen in the ring, Dineas.
Which is why I think Doug Williams is trying to drag Corino up.
Just stomping on that left arm now.
But I mean, these men, they can hardly stand at this point. It's sweltering in here. They've been going a long time. And Corino, or both of them, are looking absolutely drained at this point.
Doug Williams broke the count. And again, looks like he's coming. Yeah, he's going back to the outside. As Corino just crawling. Though I'm not sure where to. As Doug Williams right there. He was sneaking up behind Steve Corino. Now Steve Corino. Oh, he's going to go for it again. He's going to go for a Northern Lights bomb again, but Doug reversed it.
Into a suplex on the outside. You could hear Corino's body smacking against those mats. And the referee's up to, 8? So there's still time.
But look at the neck. Look at the neck once again bothering the anarchist Doug Williams. And Steve Corino hits. Oh, wait a second. Doug Williams has gone for the chaos theory on the outside.
Take that as a receipt for the Northern Lights bomb, Stevie. And these both men, they're motionless virtually. Doug Williams barely moving, Corino literally motionless. I think he may have knocked him out there. Oh no, Corino's starting to move now.
He's starting to move,
but how groggy is he going to be from that?
How hurt is he going to be? Is he going to be able to get back in the ring?
Well, we're up to 18. He's got to be quick. Doug Williams might want to grab Corino, but no, he's in just, half a second.
And this is a very vicious Doug Williams. I've never seen this side of him before. Hitting the chaos theory on the outside. That huge German suplex. And now this has got to be the end for Steve Corino. This is the end of his title reign. It's going to be just over a month for Steve Corino as 1PW World Heavyweight Champion. After everything he's done, the fight he's put in, and he just won't quit. He'll never get up. Look, he's back in the ring after taking a chaos theory on the outside, Dineas.
You've got to think, what is it going to take for one of these men to walk away the winner? Because they've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at each other, and still they stand. They barely stand,
I don't think
they stand.
Corino's hardly standing here again. He falls down on the mat.
And look at the frustration on Williams there, just thumping the turnbuckle. He can't put Corino
He's gone for it again. He's gone for it again, but a low blow this time from Corino. We've seen it from Doug earlier on. He went for the cross theory again. And now Corino's going to try and end it as fast as he can, but Doug Williams back on his feet. What an incredible match this has turned out to be. He went for the lariat. I think he just grazed Doug.
I think Williams dodged it as best he can. He might have grazed the nose or something. But
and now it's Corino got in mind. Doug Williams has gone for the chaos theory again. This is going to be the end. Chaos theory, and he tried to bridge it, but look at the neck.
He couldn't hold him, Stevie. He couldn't hold the bridge because of his neck that had been damaged by that Northern Lights bomb. And there the Northern Lights bomb comes to play again. It's already cost Doug Williams one fall via the count out, and you could easily say it's just cost him another, because Corino's just moving now. There's no way in hell Corino would have been able to kick out of that, I'm sure. I'm going down on record as saying that. I don't think Steve Corino had it in him then to kick out of the chaos theory. We would have had a new 1PW heavyweight champion of the world had it not been for the damage done to Doug Williams' neck earlier on in this match.
So it's come down to the Northern Lights bomb on the outside, is what you're saying.
That's been a huge factor in this match. It nearly sent Doug Williams to the back.
It nearly sent him on the shelf. I thought that might have been over for Doug Williams permanently.
This wasn't an enthralling match. This has just been absolutely fascinating. Two guys so evenly matched, so wanting to win. They've dug down so deep in sweltering heat here on the summer's day in Barnsley.
And Doug Williams on the mat, being picked up by Steve Corino, and now once again, unbelievably, both men still trading the forearms.
And Andy Quilden calling for the bell, and while I'm looking at my watch, we've passed an hour. I didn't even realise.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 60-minute time limit has expired. This match is a draw. I can't believe that.
I didn't even realise that we'd gone that long. I was so caught up in the match, I didn't even look at the clock. And you've got to feel so sorry for Doug Williams, because that's 2 title challenges in 3 shows that he's been beaten not by his opponent, but he's been beaten by the clock. And Doug Williams looks absolutely gutted, and I don't blame him for a second.
I completely forgot about the time limit. The referee came over here and told us. You've seen it there, but
take nothing away from Steve Corino. I mean, he wasn't beaten either. But you've got to say, Doug Williams pinned Steve Corino. Steve Corino never pinned Doug Williams.
That's a hell of a point.
And Doug Williams, what a case he has got to go back to the 1PW chairman of the board and say, I want a rematch. And I
definitely
think, he deserves it. Definitely deserves a rematch.
But it might not be. It might not be in the near future, because Doug still holding the back of the neck.
How's he going to feel tomorrow morning when he wakes up?
Well, no doubt he's gutted about England, but he was hoping to become 1PW World Heavyweight Champion here tonight.
He was hoping to restore a little bit of national pride in the Englishman here, but...
Well, I think he's done that. In all fairness, he might not be champion, but He's got to get his rematch after that performance.
I would think so, and judging by the quality of the match we've seen here tonight, a rematch would be fantastic. Let's not take anything away from Steve Corino. We've had a fantastic match, and now the champion
Corino's
will
just
speak.
took the mic from me, yes.
That's not the way a world title match should end, huh? This ain't 1980 anymore. I may be old and broken down. The 60 minutes go pretty fast. Who's got 1 more hour to kill?
It's not a popular verdict, but it's, the referee's decision is final. It's an hour time yet. The hour's gone. End of story, I guess. But, what a match we have seen here tonight. What a show we've seen here tonight.
Definitely, Corino feels he's let the fans down though. Great to see Doug Williams back on his feet. And what's going to happen now? Doug Williams will get his chance.
Let's see a handshake on the end of all this.
Let's see it. It's going to happen. There you go. Doug Williams will have another chance to live his dream and become 1PW World Heavyweight Champion.
And it all happens against Stevie at Devil's Due on July the 29th in Hull at the Gemtech Arena.
It's going to be a hell of a match, and again, Corino. Incredible! Double jeopardy! Double jeopardy, Diaz!
What kind of a predicament does that put the champion? But what a match, what a night we've seen. We've seen this great match. Iceman KOing Martin Stone. We've had tag title defense.
It's been a hell of a night is what you're trying to say. And
forget
about the football. It's all about the wrestling. And for Diaz, for 1PW, for everybody involved, I've been Sweet Stevie Aaron. We hope we'll see you again, maybe at Double Jeopardy.